Now, on another topic, we all know there's an election next year. Would Labour winning make any difference to our UK smaller companies? Amanda?
Well, I think we'd get, it doesn't matter really who gets in, but I think we'd get a period of much craved for stability after the roller coaster we've had for the past 5 years. And it's one thing that's really clear to us from our meetings with management is that you can't plan where there's uncertainty. And if we get a Labour government in, then at least we know that's where we are for the next 5 years. I've not really dug into the manifesto, but I would suspect that they would be potentially more interventionist and more activist in a Conservative government. But companies need to know where they stand. And if we get a change in government, we'd at least have more of an idea of policy from there, because from there, planning, is made a lot easier.
Yeah, so stability is very important. George, what's your view on this?
Yeah, I think the UK has suffered from a lack of investment, and that's actually caught up in the last 6 or 9 months. There has been some stability. Appreciate we've got an election on the horizon, but the rate of investment into the UK has significantly picked up. So you can see the impact that a stable government and perhaps a less media-friendly government has. In terms of being very high profile about going out with lots of ideas and then perhaps not following through on any of them. And then in terms of what the impact could be, we want stability, but statistically, historically, there's been very little difference between equity performance in Conservative and Labour governments. And actually, Labour governments are marginally ahead of Conservative governments in terms of equity performance. So there will be a period of uncertainty into the run-up where lots of the manifesto commitments come out. And that might drive sector performance. But I think at the top level, it's not going to be a material delta, I don't think.
Not too much change then. Ken, what's your view?
Again, and just in similar to what I said before about macroeconomic sort of factors and trying to take a position which is agnostic to what's going on. I think we similarly take that view about political backdrop, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't cause periods of uncertainty and that creates volatility. But we're really focused on the individual companies, and so if there are specific policies that may impact or benefit individual companies, we will clearly take those into account when we evaluate the businesses. But really, we're trying to find a very high conviction, pretty concentrated portfolio of companies that can deliver within the environment we find ourselves in, and I don't really expect dramatic changes as a result of a switch to a Labour government if that's what happens. I think both parties have certainly sort of become, at least they're making the noises of becoming closer to the centre than they perhaps have been over the last few years, and if that's the case in practice, then I think that's a good thing for stability.